Frost, 1916. 2 roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both. And be one traveler along I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent to the undergrowth, then took to the other as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear, though as for the passing there, had worn them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay in leaves, no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way. I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, and somewhere ages and ages hence, 2 roads diverged in yellow wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference.
Francis Dugan. To have power over others is something one does not need, for 'tis only by good example that one can ever lead. The many with power over others, their power they do abuse. And for those who abuse others, there cannot be an excuse. If you wish to be a leader, some sort of form of power you crave, and what it takes to be a great leader is to be understanding, kind, and brave. But leaders with such qualities, to say the least, seem rare. To some very ordinary people, they do favorably compare. For to have power over others, a good person does not desire. And many power-hungry people are those we should not admire. Power over others and personal power are different from night and day. We all do need some personal power, for to serve survival's way. To have power over others is something one cannot do without. And on those who desire such powers, one has to cast some doubt. They seem to be control freaks with the darkest of the soul. The lives of other people, they do need to control. And it's from Patti Smith's album, Dream of Love. In a room in Lebanon, they sleep silently. They are dreaming crazy dreams in foreign alphabet. Lucky young boys cross on the menu. The driver was approaching the American zoo. The waving of hands, the tiniest train. They never dreamed. They'd never wake again. Voice of the swarm, we follow, we fall. Kneel for priests, some wail at walls. Flag on a match head, God or the law. And they'll all go together where duty calls. United children, child of Iran, parallel prayers, baseball Koran. I'll protect mama, I'll lie awake. I'll die for Allah in a holy war. I'll be a ranger, I'll guard the streets. I'll be a soldier, a sleeping marine. Voice of the swarm, we follow, we fall. Kneels for priests, some wail at walls. Flag on a match head, God or the law, and they'll all go together where duty calls. In the heart of the ancient, Allah smiles. In the soul of the desert, the sun blooms. Awake into the glare of all out little wars. Who pray to return to salute the coming and dying of the moon, O sleeping sun. Assassin in prayer laid a compass deep, exploding dawn and himself as well. Their eyes for his eyes, their breath for his breath, all to his end, and a room in Lebanon. Dust of scenes erased and blend, may the blanket of kings cover them and him. Voice of the swarm, we follow, we fall. Kneel for priests, some wail at walls. Flag on a match head, God or the law, and they all go together where duty calls. Forgive them, Father, they know not what they do. From the vast portals of their consciousness, they're calling you. Room in Lebanon, there's room in Lebanon.
I have read many poems in my time, and I can count on one hand the number I've actually enjoyed. Although today I think it's reached the second hand, because a few of them I've enjoyed. So this is one I first heard it when I was really, really little, and This is a book for my intro to lit class, and I was just scrolling through it and ran into it again, and I remember enjoying it, so here goes. 'Twas brillig in his slippy toes, did gyre and gimble in the wave. All mimsy were the borough grows, and the moan rafts outgrave. Beware the jabberwock, my son, the jaws that bite, the claws that catch. Beware the jub bird, and shun the frumious bandersnatch. He took his vorpal sword in hand. Long time manxome foe he sought, so rested he by a tum-tum tree, and stood a while in thought. And as an ewfish fought he stood, the jabberwock with eyes of flame came whiffling through the tulgey wood, and burbled as it came. 1, 2, 1, 2, and through, the vorpal blade went snicker snack. He left it dead, and with its head he went gallanting back. And hast thou slain the jabberwock? Come to my arms, my beamish boy, go frab to stay, calloo calais. He chortled in his joy. 'Twas brillig and his slippy toes did gyre and gimble in the wave. All mimsy wore the borough grows, and the moan rafts outgrave.
It's called Mr. Jihad, written by Christy Eckner. I'm going to the Dead Sea and cube the sea, float on its sacred chemistry, heal my knuckles that I split open on the displacement of your honor's face. Race, this isn't about race, but the distrust of your pseudo-religious ideologies, of your false lunatic prophecies, and charters of genocidal tendencies. I have since learned only how violence only begets violence, so how are we to coexist? Mr. Jihad, I offer to you my hypocrisy, my double-edged blade of mutations, forged in the land of the rising sun. The lions of Judah are on the prowl. It's time for a head check, here they come. Mr. Jihad, I will not submit to your misinterpretations of Valhalla. I will not submit to your Dajjala, to your Antichrist, death cult Messiah. Mr. Jihad, a dog's behind is cleaner than your mouth, which spews out adoration for Hitler, who would have gassed you too, a dunce cat for you. Always remember your roots. You should have dropped the book instead of bombs, worked alongside the Jew, your fellow descendants of the Abrahamic DNA brew. You should work together to purge the true enemy of humanity, the beast within, instead of passing on the blame, manifesting yourself into a monstrosity that feeds upon obscenity, who institutionalizes pedophilia, peddling child porno stars. Mr. Jihad, your 72 virgins are burly, hairy prison inmates caught in the cell of the hell burning down your own mind. No matter how much peace I may find, no matter how much of my hate I'm able to dissipate, no matter what you attempt to do to me, my soul, my heart, and blood will never submit to your misinterpretations of Valhalla that were rearranged and twisted into a deranged version of Allah Allah. Mr. Jihad, I will not ever submit to your Antichrist death cult Dajjala. And when I first read it, I interpreted it differently, and then I realized that I think he is pretty much saying that all, when a religion becomes an ideology, that's when, people are using it for the wrong reasons. And it's all religions. I don't think he's just targeting one. He's saying all religions when like the pseudo-religious ideologies. He's saying that's what I got from it. I don't think he's targeting a specific religion. It's when you use it for the wrong reasons. And it turns from a religion to an ideology, is when you're in danger. So, that's that.
This Be the Verse by Philip Larkin. They fuck you up, your mom and dad. They may not mean to, but they do. They fill you with faults they had, and some extra just for you. But they were fucked up in turn by fools in old-style hats and coats, who half the time were soppy stern, and half at one another's throats. Man hands on misery to man, it deepens like a coastal sheep. Get out as early as you can, and don't have kids yourself. And there was a response by Carol Rumens, This Be the Verse, and it starts, not everyone's childhood sucked. There are some kiddies not up fucked. They moan and shout, won't take advice, but hang about. Most turn out nice, if not better than us, no worse. Sad non-begetter that beamed the verse.
It followed me from my country, Vietnam, and the the speaker, she followed the picture of waves to express her feeling to the one she loved. Wave. Before those waves whisper the sea, I think of you, think of myself. I muse upon the foolish sea, where this dull pillow on a rise. It was with wise that waves began. Where did they begin? The wise. Neither do I remember now. Where did it all begin? Our love. Waves in the pool of the sea, waves on the surface of the sea. Always are homesick for their shore, so sleep eludes them day and night. My heart just longs for you, my love, and while it rains, stay wide awake. I may set up and head trek north, or fade apart and move down south. No matter where I go, my thoughts all turn in one direction, you. Far, far out there upon the sea, behold them on those waves and waves. With one will plunge from that broad space and fail to reach their shore. Through like a long, long horn, the months and years do pass away. However vast they still may be, the clouds will cross it going home. Oh, how to make the heart dissolve, and be the 100 little waves that spawn upon the sea of love, forever lap again the shore. Now I will transfer the last stanza of this poem to my English, my language. So can you guys can hear how they sound? Cuộc đời tuy dài thế, năm tháng vẫn đi qua như biển kia dẫu rộng, mây vẫn bay về xa. Làm sao được tan ra thành trăm con sóng nhỏ giữa biển lớn tình yêu để ngàn năm còn vỗ. Thank you.
I sit alone and think of you, hoping you can hear me. If I close my eyes before I sleep, I can see you clearly. Even where I am now, where everything is dark, I can feel you here beside me, tugging on my heart. Anxiously, I wait to hear a precious word or two. Something to let me know you feel me as much as I feel you. I take the blame and apologize for those nights that I have denied you. But this gives me time to love your mind before I lay beside you. Let me take away your pain, weep your tears, and guide you. Let's make love with pen and paper before I come inside you. I hope my words don't sound too strong, but passion has no fear. Each breath I breathe is essence that builds up through the year. There is no cure for what I feel, it's just pain that allies me. No prescription from the doctors, modern medicine has failed me. And I know this is a lot to take, but I mean each word sincerely. These hungry letters sent with passion, hope you can feel me. Oh, my heart.
So the first one, I'll read The Rainy Day. I do not like a rainy day. The road is wet. The sky is gray. They dress me up from head to toes in lots and lots of rubber clothes. I wish the sun would come and stay. I do not like this rainy day. That was from William Wise. Nice. And yeah, I was just Googling about carpentry poems when I was waiting. And this one I put kind of some emphasis on it because I do this kind of work myself, doing the carpentry. So it's called The Carpenter. An elderly carpenter was ready to retire. He told his employer, contractor, of his plans to leave the house building business and live a more leisurely life with his wife, enjoying his extended family. He would miss the paycheck, but he needed to retire. They could get by. The contractor was sorry to see his good worker go and asked if he could build just one more house as a personal favor. The carpenter said yes, but in time it was easy to see that his heart was not into his work. He resorted to shoddy workmanship and used inferior materials. That was an unfortunate way to end a dedicated career. When the carpenter finished his work, the employer came to inspect the house. He handed the front door key to the carpenter. "This is your house," he said, "my gift to you." The carpenter was shocked. What a shame. If I had known he was building his own house, he would have done it all so differently. So it was with us, we build our lives one day at a time, often putting less than our best into our building. And with the shock, we realize that we have to live in the house we have built. If we could do it over, we'd do it much differently, but we cannot go back. You are the carpenter. Each day you hammer a nail, place a board, or erect a wall. Life is a do-it-yourself project, someone has said. Your attitudes and its choices you make